when you're a small boy growing up in Malaysia, some of the great exciting things is actually in outdoors. I happen to have an uncle who is a very well-known ecologist, so I used to do a lot of field work with him. And I had an interest in how things work. So, that naturally then led me to do engineering or medicine. So the choice of engineering was because we live in an era where a lot of big things were being built. And that served as an inspiration for a young person wanting to do something useful, something to make a mark. So that led me to do engineering. But I suppose my interest in research actually started when I was in my senior year at university. Curiosity as to what are the details that results in certain phenomena that we see. I did magnetics, and that stems from trying to understand what magnetism is. So my PhD was on computational electromagnetics, so solving difficult mathematical equations. But that has served me well, and that has allowed me to understand many fields of science, be it fluid dynamics, thermodynamics, and even today, as we go into aspects of biology, my basic research had allowed me to have an appreciation of all this. So I would say that that started my research interests and ambitions actually started in my undergraduate days. I came back to Singapore and became an academic. And one of the greatest things about being an academic is that you're able to share what you know with young people. But Singapore actually provides me with a platform to do even more. So along my career, I've built institutions, I've led a faculty, I've built research institutes. But I would say my greatest achievement is actually in building Republic Poly, because each year the Polytechnic benefits more than 4,000 students. But today, as I manage, the research ecosystem in Singapore together with many other colleagues, there's a great opportunity for us to see how technology and science can allow us to build our economy going into the future, as well as to address some of the key issues that we face. But in Singapore, we cannot do this alone. We have to do that in partnership with companies, we do that in partnership with many other organizations globally, be it universities or research organizations. And that actually is one of the reasons why we have partnership with France, and they were very kind enough to recognize my contribution and gave me an award. But it's very, very important for Singapore to be extroverted in a sense in terms of what we want to do, so that we are a true hub. A true hub which has got access to technology whilst being networked globally for people to access what we do here in Singapore. The library had always been a repository of knowledge and information and providing access to everyone for free. I think over the years, this has not changed. The way content is being delivered has changed. The way people access information and knowledge have changed. And I think today the library, at least the libraries we have in Singapore, still serves the purpose. But I think there's a more important point. Today, the acquisition of knowledge and information can be done in asynchronous time and space. So libraries will have to serve a more social purpose because it brings people together. So it has got a wider role, I think, in this era, in this digital age. I think it has got a great opportunity to be actually a place where people gather, not only to exchange knowledge, but actually, because of the interaction, be able to have this element of creativity, entrepreneurship, beyond just the acquisition of knowledge and information. young people, I always tell them there's so much more to discover. There are problems for us to solve, there are exciting things for us to discover, but the most important thing for all young people is to pursue their passion. What you do can only be sustained if you have a great interest in it, and you have a passion for what you want to do. And every scientist, every mathematician, every engineer want to see the work they do finally applied. And seeing it applied gives you the greatest satisfaction because you know that you have made a contribution. So I think for the young people, there's so much more things to do because there's so many problems we are facing with. At the same time, great opportunities abound for all of us.